Hi, this is Julie at Love's Beginning. Today I have a talk called The Light Within and Behind Everyone and Everything. So the first statement I have today is take your direction from what shines behind everything. And more this is becoming more apparent to me. But as that light shines within and behind everything, and no analysis of any surface that appears to be good or bad or this or that, any opposite, is more important than the recognition that the light shines within this. The light shines from behind it. And to recognize and to be in the presence of that light and to allow the light to determine everything that's perceived, that becomes the most important thing. So when my ego is busy analyzing, this is the situation that you're in, these are the elements that are surrounding you as a separate one, these are the possible threats to your separate self, and here are the defenses you're going to erect and maintain to ensure that your separate self is safe and comfortable. All of those thoughts are becoming more obvious to me where I'm attached to them, and I have more and more opportunities to understand this is wasted time. I can remember in this moment that there is light without any ego judgment within and behind everyone and everything I see. And pretty much at our command, that light shines forth. It radiates out from within, or it pierces the surface of what we've insisted on seeing, and all our judgments, positive and negative, related to that. Doesn't matter which one it is. If there's a relative positive and negative in your world, they're kind of fighting against each other, and neither one represents the truth of all of us. There's only one truth, and it's the truth of all of us, and no two opposing or opposite forces in this world we've invented with thought can represent the truth of all of us. So it is so big, it's so all-encompassing, it's the opportunity of every moment. And I'm understanding more often my invitation into this. Okay, so next, if you are analyzing body surfaces and their actions, let's say you see a good guy and a bad guy, or a guilty one and an innocent one, and they seem different. So if you are analyzing body surfaces and their actions, trying to draw conclusions from that data and to make decisions for a separate you based on that, based on the idea of threat and separateness and domination and suffering, your attention has wandered from the light that shines behind everything. And I've gotten suggestions more than once. There's like a third element to this light. Behind is emphasized in this statement. But so it's like the light shines out from within everything. The light shines from behind it, straight into your heart, where all the knowledge is. The light shines upon it. And as you remember this, the light shines upon you. There is only one self present in everything. So you allow the light to shine upon that one self everywhere, everyone. The light shines from behind whatever you see, piercing into your heart, into the heart of knowledge, and activating that within you. The light shines out from within whatever you look upon, so you don't have to stop to judge it or try to interact with it in a way that seems to be to the advantage of your separate self. This is different stuff here. But I'm getting opportunities to see this more and more often. So the light is shining behind everything. It can pierce into my heart, the heart of knowledge, and release that knowledge into my experience. And then very simply and obviously, I will know what to do, what to say, that kind of thing. So, here we are with this great opportunity. And as I stop to judge any conditions or surroundings, I'm lost again and I know it, and it feels more terrible than it ever has been before to be lost. So there's every advantage in the willingness to focus on this light. Okay. In receiving and sharing these messages, you demonstrate a gift that is available to all now. Nothing feels more right to me than to understand whatever gift someone demonstrates, that same gift belongs to everybody right now. That feels, I don't know, urgent to understand and to share. Because things take different forms around us, and we can judge those forms and feel pain from the judgment, or we can recognize that all gifts belong to all right now, and we can access those gifts. And it's just this huge sense of sharing, that's available to everybody right now. All right, where am I? Okay. In your awareness that you are demonstrating a gift that belongs equally to all, you share and give this gift without reservation. So we share everything we are, everything we have. Nothing physical or sensory is a real thing. It's not a real thing you share. Although your character might enact the sharing of a physical thing. But this is understanding the light is everywhere, literally everywhere, shining upon everything, shining from behind everything, shining from within everyone and everything in every situation without exception. And being willing to remember that and celebrate that and rest in that and know everything's okay in that, then we share that awareness with everyone. We allow everyone we meet to appear lit up to us with this awareness of the joy that's available for everyone right now. So this sharing, it's an ability we barely know we have, but we have it. It can be strengthened every day. There's no space in that sharing for a special ego with special abilities come to save a whole bunch of other smaller ones. Let me lead you, I will show you the way. Not exactly that. We all lead each other because we all are the light, and we all have the light, and we're all walking home together. So this together aspect is really, really, really important. And the habit is to find what looks like a bigger ego, to put your trust in the bigger ego, to say they're special in this way, and to follow them because of their apparent specialness. And that is what's being highlighted. That's what we can notice. You can notice when you're attempting to be a smaller ego and to bring it into devotion to a bigger ego, and to try to find safety in worshiping or following that bigger ego that seems to be special, to have special things that you don't. We can become aware of this, or when we're attempting the reverse or some other version of that big small ego partnership thing, and to understand that's no partnership at all. It's no partnership at all. Our equality underneath the surface of everything that appears different. That's the only true partnership there is. And as we tune into that, we can work together. We can work together with a clear sense of who we all really are and what we all truly have to offer. I think that's it for that one. Okay. When you are aware that your gift belongs to all equally, you are willing to have it reflect back to you from everyone and everything. So ego could have me experience a segment of time when I show up having something that others appear to lack, and others would follow me because of that, because they want this thing I seem to have. So they believe if they try to bring their egos in alignment with my ego, with what that head ego seems to be doing, then they will get what a separate one seems to have. And this is very different. My gift, any gift I have, belongs to everyone right now. And if I'm willing to see it reflected back to me from everyone and everything, then that determines the script that is experienced. And it's important to understand the scripts that are available to us to experience. We can experience scripts of egos in conflict with one another, or we can experience scripts of everyone wakes up and knows the ego was never real and celebrates each other because we're sharing everything with everyone and everything right now. The nowness of this is very important. So the scripts that you're able to see enacted, it's a complete waste of time to see any script but the one where everybody wakes up to how beautiful they are, with no reference to how their surface, physical or personality surface looks right now. We don't get any brownie points or credit for that's such a great guy or that's such a physically beautiful separate entity. There's no brownie points, and there are no brownie points. There are no demerits. For I have a past where the personality has enacted thus and such, whether it be violence or meanness or it doesn't. There are no demerits. Or I have a personality where I have been so kind, kinder than that violent one over there. There are no brownie points. There are no demerits. There's just what we are right now, and that is it. And if you are, I almost want to say fierce or focused in your memory of what everyone truly is, you allow the reality of that to be reflected back to you. It's a very important thing that everybody can do. Okay, and the last statement is the light that is you and everyone and everything, even a bomb. I was given this example before. Look at the surface of a bomb and look at all the ways your ego could judge that bomb positively or negatively. Okay, look at the surface. What shines upon it? Light. What can shine right through it into your heart, activating the knowledge in your heart? Light. What can radiate out from within it, affecting? Now forget about the physical exploding. Forget about that. What can radiate out from within it, affecting everyone and everything? Light. Just light. That's it. Just light. And if that's the only power you give anything that seems to have any relative qualities, whether it be violence or peace, beauty or ugliness, generosity or what's the opposite of that? Selfishness? I don't know. It does not matter. We try to get brownie points from our efforts to be a good person and the perceived separate history we have of trying to be a good person. And then we compare that person to what we would say were worse persons and try to gain relative value from that. Meaningless. It's 100% meaningless. There are no brownie points. There are no demerits for anyone. We just have now. And we just have the light. And we all have the ability to activate the light right now, in any now. And that's the most important ability everyone has right now. And as you recognize that, it's an ability that can only be shared. You cannot take it for a separate self. And as you share it, you allow the world to reflect back to you. This light is what's real. The world will recognize it and reflect it back to you. So it's not about creating a future where I have a special or anyone has a special ability or talent, and that ability or talent gives a safe passage through a violent world or a mean world or a world where people are learning to be as good as I am. No, that's optional. You can live that script and get special credit for a while. But you also have the option to see right now there are no brownie points and there are no demerits. And you are here now in the light, and that's all important. That's all that's important. And your ability to share the presence, the knowledge of the presence of this light everywhere makes it reflect back to you. So everybody does have the same gift you do. And that is not a loss. That is just recognition of what's real. So the light shines upon everyone and everything. The light shines from behind everyone and everything, with no reference to how their surface looks good or bad. That was just a convenience for the ego. That was just a disguise. There are no brownie points. There are no demerits for anyone, anyone, no matter how bad or good anything looks. The light shines from behind it. That light can pierce your heart and activate the knowing that helps you flow through this experience. The light shines out from within everyone, every situation, every object, every molecule, everything perceived that the ego would call separate. The light shines from within it. It radiates out. Think of all the beams extending outward from that. That is most important. And that's what we're invited to remember in any moment where we feel confused, dense, tense, regretful, any sort of tension at all. Any judgment always brings tension, even positive judgments. So if you in your mind are especially complimenting one person as being so this or so that, and it doesn't seem available to everyone, that is tension. If you pay attention to it, you will feel the fear there. You're temporarily erecting a little altar, right? And you seem to have temporary safety in it. And the ego can kind of convince you of that. But when you really feel into what you're doing, there's fear. Fear's running that. So there are no brownie points because there are no demerits. And we're all here in the light together. And we all have this opportunity to remember it as many thousands of times a day as we need to stop to remember it. And I think it probably is thousands, hundreds, I don't know. It's many times a day because we're still believing that we're separate. We're still believing in lack. We're still believing in a lot of things we don't need to believe in anymore. How do we know? Because we feel tired, we feel irritated, we feel angry, or our minds are turning in analysis and trying to figure out and assigning opposite labels to opposite factors or seemingly separate things appearing in our script. And none of that is necessary. We're making suffering for ourselves when we do that. So this is all for me. I speak this, but as I'm speaking it, my mind is opening up to accept, the lesson for today and to renew the focus and to open up to what's truly here for all of us. So yeah, I'm speaking it, but it's for me. When I'm folding the laundry, I'm going to be listening to this message. And when I'm in my car and my kids aren't in there to object, I'm going to be listening to this message and other ones too. That I have a playlist on YouTube that is tap shuffle for a message. Originally the idea came through that, this could be useful for people. You just tap shuffle, a random message comes up. It might be addressing what you're experiencing right now. It's for me. I use that. So everything that seems to be for someone else, it's for me. My friend Diana is the one who inspired me to make recordings because she mentioned it's easier to listen than if I just publish the text of the messages I receive. Who's listening to the recordings? Probably more than anybody. I am. So it's definitely a message for me to help the perceived personhood, separate and opposing personhood of this one, melt and ease to allow the flow to come through and handle everything. So if it benefits you too, then I'm glad. But I think I've done my work if I just take the message for myself and allow it to help me. So wishing you a beautiful day and wishing you happy healing. Thank you for walking home with me.